Hello, hello. It's Elizabeth Busby here, the Director of Programs for the Theology of the Body Institute. Today, we're going to be tackling kind of a tough topic, and that is men, how to tell the woman that you love about your pornography struggles. Before I get into this, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be alerted to any other amazing content that we have here on the Theology of the Body Institute channel. And make sure that you wait until the end of this video because I'm going to be giving you one practical tip to have this conversation and you don't want to miss it. So right at the outset of this video, I want to start by saying, women, I understand that this is not just a man struggle. Pornography is not just something that men struggle with. Just as many women, or close to just as many women, struggle with pornography and masturbation also. And I know that is an issue. I see you. But in this video in particular, I'm talking about how men can tell the woman that they love about their pornography struggles. And I think the way that women go about those sorts of conversations are different than men. And in some ways, the struggle is a little bit different for women. So I will be doing a video at some point about women and pornography struggles, but I am going to be primarily addressing men. All right, men. So this is one of those things. I'm sure you're here because you want me to give you an easy answer. This is one of those things I think people want an easy out on. You recognize on some level how hurt your beloved is going to be about this, and you want to try to ease their pain a bit. And I'm just going to be frank with you. There really is no easy way to have this conversation. This is a tough conversation. And when I was praying about this, what I really wanted to tell you about how to do it is honestly kind of be like that Shia LaBeouf video. And just do it.
Do it! Just do it!
You just got to do it. You just got to tell her. I would say don't wait. Don't wait until the perfect time. There will never be one. Don't wait a super long time into the relationship. Even though it's scary to have this conversation, the longer that you wait, the more betrayed she's going to feel that it's been going on during the relationship. So as early as you are comfortable, have the conversation. I don't think it needs to be something that you talk about before you're in a commitment with her, but as soon as you get into a commitment with her, any of that time is fair game to communicate it to her. And I also really want to encourage you not to hide behind some like easier ways to kind of soften the blow, like abstractly saying, I struggle with lust, or lust is a sin that I have issues with, or that sort of thing. No. You need to just say it. You need to just come out and say, I struggle with pornography and masturbation. This is something that I am working on. Well, actually, you know what? That's another point. If you are not working on it, if it is something that you've never told anybody, if watching this video maybe even is the first acknowledgement that you've ever given to this is something that is a part of your life and you don't like it, I really want to encourage you to get help. Some of you may know that I am a marriage and family therapist. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I studied pornography and pornography addiction and the way that pornography affects the brain. I studied that a lot in graduate school. And I am here to tell you that it is a real struggle that is very likely not going to be something you can battle on your own. The way that the brain is affected by pornography, I don't want to get into all of the neuroscience, but I will say that the reward pathway, it's called the mesolimbic dopaminergic reward pathway in your brain that is triggered by pornography. It's the same one that's triggered by cocaine use. The brain latches onto pornography, and it's something that is kind of difficult to break in a habit. So I want to encourage you to get help. That is definitely something that is important. And I would encourage you to do that before you tell your beloved, or at least be ready to do it as soon as you tell her. That's going to be one of her questions, I am sure. What are you doing to fix it? And I think a lot of men are like, I can do it myself. There's this bravado that men bring to the table, and they're like, I don't need help. I shouldn't need help. I can do it on my own. The reality is that the way that your brain is wired and the way that the enemy has allowed pornography to invade our culture right now, it is really hard to do it by yourself. So tell someone else, even if it's a male friend, that can help you to get the professional help that you need, but tell someone you cannot fight this in the dark. And the flip side of that is, I think that one of the things that Satan tells people when they struggle with pornography, men in particular, is that everyone's doing it, so it's not a big deal. And if you're just telling your beloved in a perfunctory way, like, I do this, but you shouldn't worry about it, that's also something that I want to challenge. As a clinician, as a marriage and family therapist, I view pornography and masturbation use as infidelity. And here's why. You may not know that the body speaks a language. Maybe you do know that. You're on the Theology of the Body Institute channel. But if you don't know what Theology of the Body teaches, one of the main tenets is that the body communicates invisible realities into the physical realm. And one of those is that the sexual climax communicates something very specific. It communicates that I am going to be here for you freely, totally, faithfully, fruitfully. I'm giving all of myself. I'm holding nothing back. St. John Paul II says that in a mysterious way, that sexual climax actually teaches us something about who God is within the Trinity, within himself, but also the way that he loves us. Now, God is not a sexual being, right? He made us in his image, not the other way around. But it does teach us, sexual climax does teach us something about who God is. So it is important that that sexual climax is oriented properly, is lived properly. And that proper living of that is in the marital embrace. So if you are not married, it is not proper to be climaxing, right? Because you're speaking a lie with your body. You're communicating, I love you freely, totally, faithfully, and fruitfully, but you're communicating it to yourself alone in a room. You're communicating it to a screen, something that's not incarnationally real to you. You're communicating it to someone that you're not vowed to, so you can't actually assure that you're going to be there freely, totally, faithfully, and fruitfully forever, right? It means something. Your body means something. So even if your beloved doesn't have this language, she is going to hear when you tell her that you look at pornography and that you masturbate. She is going to hear that she was cheated on. And even if she doesn't have that language, that's how that wound is going to hit her heart. And she's valid in that. And so I want to encourage you when you tell her, do not be defensive. Give her the space to grieve this. Give her the space to grieve the deception that she didn't know about this. Give her the space to grieve that you were basically engaging in really intimate sexual behavior, not with her. Even though you're not married and she's not owed that sexual behavior, there is a sense in which she recognizes that it's a violation of the intimacy that the two of you share. And so I really want to encourage you to give her the space. And that is going to be hard because you are probably also in a lot of pain. And when we as humans are in pain, it is easier to close up and to keep other people at a distance, whether that's through shutting down, whether that's through defensiveness. It's easier to do that. But I want to encourage you to stay in that open space. Pray in your mind that the Lord gives you the grace to stay open. Pray for mercy, that she receives you mercifully. Pray that you're able to communicate it mercifully. Pray that this lands softly in her heart and that the Lord rushes to comfort her in that space. But give her the space to feel whatever she's feeling. Nothing that she's feeling is wrong. And allow her to feel what she's feeling without being defensive. I'm going to close this video by giving you one practical tip for how to have this conversation. And that is, do not just spring it on her out of nowhere. You have been preparing for this in your heart for some time. And so you're ready to have the conversation, but it is going to come probably as a bit of a shock to her. And so I think it would be the best if you would set her up to have a serious conversation. Here's what I mean. Instead of being like, hey, let's talk about this big serious thing right now on this date, you say, hey, I would like to have a serious conversation with you. Would you be okay if we went on a walk tomorrow night and I could tell you what I'm thinking? This tells her something serious is coming up so she can prepare her heart to hear something. It sets up an environment that's appropriate for a conversation like this. Like, I would not have this conversation at a coffee shop. I would not have this conversation at a restaurant. I would not have this conversation where there are other people around. Going on a walk, maybe around a lake or in a neighborhood or wherever you are, would be one of the best places to have this sort of a conversation because you want nobody else around so that you can be as open and honest as you want, but you also don't necessarily want to be in the intimate environment of like a bedroom alone or something when you're having this conversation. So be mindful of the space and let her know that this is coming. And then when you're there, just come out with it because she's going to be thinking a lot about what it is. She's going to be really nervous. She's probably going to think you're going to be breaking up with her or something. So make sure that as soon as you start the conversation, going back to what I said about Shia LaBeouf, just do it. It's going to be really hard. There's just no way around it. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be difficult, but it's going to be better than hiding in the dark. Anytime we bring difficult truths to the light of Christ, to the light in general, but the light of Christ is better than staying in the dark. So take courage, my brothers. This is a hard thing. And even though pornography and masturbation can seem like the sort of thing that you're never going to be able to tackle and you're never going to be able to live without it, I can assure you that God's design for your humanity allows for you to sacrifice these strong, intense desires and die to yourself in that space. I know you can do it. It's really tough, but I know that you can do difficult things. I'm rooting for you. I believe in you. Until next time, stay close to the heart of Jesus and be not afraid. Bye.